In the terrifying and twisted world of Sunshine Nation, where humans' will is a thing to be harvested and discarded, Brokara Ryver stands as a chilling example of what happens when humanity is completely tricked. Once a slave in the Amarr Empire, Brokara's transformation into one of Sancha Kuvake's true slaves marked the end of her life as a human, and of course the beginning of her existence as a near-perfect weapon of war. Her story is one of loss, one of freedom, but also loss of identity, and most hauntingly, loss of emotion. Brokara Ryver's early life was defined by shackles of slavery. She was born into the brutal hierarchy. She knew nothing but servitude. Like many in her position, her fate seemed sealed, destined to live and die in chains. Her life a mere resource for her Amarr overlords. However, fate took a darker turn. When she was shipped off to the remote and lawless region of Stein, she fell into the hands of Sancha Kuvake. Kuvake had long harbored a vision of creating this perfect society, once where free will was eradicated, and also slaves who were bound to his will through cybernetic control. Brokara, already broken by years of slavery, was an ideal candidate for his experiments. She actually became one of Kuvake's earliest successes, one of his first true slaves, an entity that was once human, but now was little more than a puppet, controlled by Kuvake's dark will. The process that did turn Brokara into a true slave was both horrific and thorough. Her body was riddled with cybernetic implants, and her mind was linked to the collective consciousness of Sunshine Nation. What little remained of her human identity was obliterated, and then replaced by a cold, machine-like obedience. Rumors persist that Kuvake held a particular fondness for Ryver, perhaps seeing in her the ideal realization of his vision. A being entirely without emotion, driven only by the desire to serve the nation. Now these whispers, however, do nothing to soften the reality of Ryver's existence. If Kuvake did indeed favor her, it was not as a person, but more like a creation. As a true slave, Brokara Ryver rose through the ranks of Sunshine Nation, eventually becoming one of the top commanders in the nation's military. Her success was not born of tactical genius or charismatic leadership, but more of her utter ruthlessness and efficiency. She became a weapon wielded by Sancha Kuvake with precision, leading incursions into Empire space with an icy detachment that made her feared among all her enemies. Ryver's presence on the battlefield was a harbinger of doom. Her enemies knew that she would show no mercy, that there would be no negotiation or even compromise. She was, after all, no longer human. To fight Brokara Ryver was basically to face a force that is as relentless and unfeeling as the machines that now constitutes her being. What is perhaps the most terrifying about Brokara Ryver is the total absence of emotions in all her actions. Unlike other commanders who might be driven by ambition or hatred or even a twisted sense of loyalty, Ryver operates with a machine-like detachment. She executes Kuvake's order without question, without hesitation, and without the slightest flicker of feeling. To her, the concepts like mercy, fear, and even victory are meaningless. She is a tool, and her sole purpose is to carry out the will of the nation. For those who face her on the battlefield, This lack of emotion is more terrifying than any show of anger or aggression. There is no reasoning with Ryver, no appeal to her humanity. She has none left. All that remains is this cold, evil force of Sunshine Nation, driven by the mind of a woman who was once a slave and is now something far more dangerous. Brokara Ryver is a figure of dread, a name that evokes the chilling reality of what it means to lose one's humanity to the machines. Her legacy is one of terror and despair. You know, the greatest threat may not come from those who wield power for personal gain, but from those who wield it without any personal desire at all. Those who have become something far less, and yet far more than a human. In the end, Brokara Ryver is not just a commander of Sunshine's nation. She is a symbol of its twisted ideology. A living, breathing monster to the horrors that can be brought when a person's mind is no longer their own, and their heart has turned to cold, unfeeling steel. Her nightmare is always something you should try and avoid, if you can, because if she sees you, it might already be too late.